Hello guys, let's talk about decks, specifically for Haru and her team. And the reason why I'm using a plural there, decks, is because based on a few different factors, you will want to have a multiple save data for different combatants, because they synergize with each other in different ways, and it also depends on the gear, your equipment, your memory fragments, and so on. Let's start by talking about Haru specifically, because I have two save files that I use most of the time. One is the one that you see equipped right now, and one is, if I could find it, this one. This is the most stable save file that I have, and by stable I mean that its damage output is extremely reliable. The reason for that is there are 3 anchor pointers, meaning that this save file has access to anchor shot every single turn, no matter what. And at the same time, anchor shot having combo +1 hit means that every turn you can do anchor pointer, you pick up anchor shot, combo is active because you just played anchor pointer, and you hit twice with anchor shot, which starts at a very solid damage already, because it's this multiply 2, because you are hitting an extra time, which is more than your average starting hit of an anchor shot. The reason why I have another save file, which is the one that I have equipped right now, is that eventually we will get to a point where 25% crit rate is nice, but our gear will be hopefully better than what we have right now, and we'll have more crit rate, and it will no longer so necessary to have that amount of extra crit rate. And what I'm using right now is this save file, where I only have one anchor pointer, but it generates an action point. It's very unfortunately that I got this mod, this epiphany, that grants retain to anchor shot, because in this divine epiphany I got the 25% crit rate. This save file would be the best that I have for Haru. Unfortunately it didn't happen. So, in this save file specifically, I give up the 25% crit rate in favor of one action point, which is still very relevant for Haru. No, I don't want to stop playing. Which is very relevant for Haru. In exchange for 2 anchor shots. The 2 anchor shots are identical. They have regular growth. They provide damage reduction, which is nice. And increases the card's damage by an extra 30%. The reason why damage reduction is nice for Haru is that she is very action point hungry, and usually when you set up your damage output turn with Haru, you do not have any action points left for defense. You can do something with Khalipe, we will more about Khalipe later, but in general I found this setup to be fairly solid, because it has a good damage output while at the same time providing a little bit of damage reduction, which is always nice. And having charge energy, giving like 70% attack and reducing the cost is of course amazing, because since it's a retained skill, it's always in our hand, until we want to use it, which is good. And costing 0, it's essentially an extra action point for Haru's damage turn. So, a very solid overall save file. Just, you know, the extra 25% crit rate here would have been amazing, but we cannot have a perfect save file right now, and I would also be very annoyed if I got one, because we will be grinding 5-star gear and better save files relatively soon in the future, so if I got a low level perfect save file, I would be very bummed. The rest of the team's cards are also very important. What I'm using on Khalipe is this very small save file with just 6 cards. And the reason is that I want the turn of all 3 of my combatants to cycle as quickly as I can, so that I can get to anchor pointers, anchor shots, and set up max damage turns as often as I can. In this save file I have a vulture ejection providing fortitude when I cast it, which is sweet, because you can cast anchor shot, play vulture ejection for free. The anchor shot that I have in this save file provides damage reduction. Here we gain 4 fortitude, which provides damage reduction, and by default it grants some shield. So the damage turn is also a turn during which we can build a little bit of defense and we avoid getting cheap damage too often. And on Overpower, I got this mod, which is not amazing, but it's some extra shield, some extra damage, or vulnerable, or rather, some tenacity damage or vulnerable, and draw 1, which fits well with the theme of cycling the deck as quickly as possible. And of course, our beloved Mika has a deck built like this with the 3 sources of water. I was very triggered by this save file. There are some mechanics in the game that change the value of a save file and rearrange the cards and all the sort of stuff. There used to be 4 sources of water in save file, and 2 of those sources of water were like this, and only 1 made the cut. It was a shame, because an extra draw 1 source of water was... it was so good. Hard to put in words. But anyway, this is a save file that I use most of the time with Mika, because this fits pretty much all of my teams from all other combatants, not just Haru. But there's another one that I like a lot from Mika, which is this one with the 2 rallies. Having 2 rallies means essentially that it's a 6 card deck with no wasted cards, because I do not have her normal attack and I managed to cut a water barrier. Delage is a card we have in hand at the start of a fight and we cast it on turn 1, so it's a 5 card deck. And Blessing of Waves has Retain, so we can keep it in hand for as long as we want, making it essentially a 4 deck card. In addition to that, Technical Analysis, having Wave 2, means that if we are at 0 waves, at the start of a turn we have 1 wave. If we get Technical Analysis in our turn, she generates 2 waves, that's 1 extra action point. So extremely solid, and that's why I called it small, because although it has 8 cards, it is essentially a 4 deck card. And overall the synergy between all the 3 combatants is very good, and I'm now going to do a fight in the Hyperboreal Basin. Okay, let's see how it goes. Here the first one is a single dude. We start with an Anchor Shot in our hand, a Deluge, so it's a fairly dull first turn. I will use this one just to boost the damage of Anchor Shot a little bit. And with just 1 we cannot do anything worthwhile. Let's see, hopefully we get the other Anchor Shot or a way to draw it. We got a way to draw it. Here we have an extraction point, draw 1. We're going to be using quite a few of these things. We got an Anchor Shot, that's pretty sweet. It's GG. Of course, since this build has the Anchor Shot that grows stronger, here we want to spam Anchor Shot as much as possible. Let's see, we didn't get any way to draw extra cards and to have access to one of our Anchor Shots, so this is going to be a fairly dull turn. What we can do is just set up things for the following turn. I can throw a Whirlpool away. That card is a dud, it's a very bad card, but at least it helps to generate 1 wave, so there is a good chance that the next turn we will be able to generate 1 extraction point via wave generation. Let's see. No, it didn't happen. We can use this one, a power charge, maybe by making it stronger we can take that one down, yes, so let's throw away a bleed into this. Okay, we reshuffled, we got an Anchor Shot in our hand, we have one with reduced stress, which is not particularly relevant in this game mode. Right now we have 5 action points. So, it looks like making anchor shot cost 3 and hit harder and buff it via anchor would be a nice setup, and I think it's going to be enough to take down this enemy without needing to draw any extra cards. So let's just do it. Let's see. Yeah, that's more than enough. Donk. That was actually a one-shot. Confirm. And I will worry about the rest probably later today and in the coming days. Anyway, that was everything from my Haru deck slash decks. As I was saying earlier, I do believe that this card, if he got the 25% crit rate, it would be the absolute best possible for Haru, especially right now in this stage of the game. My Haru build in terms of stats is like this. She has 28 crit rate by default, which is not much, unfortunately, due to the fragment situation being this. Plus she has 20% due to the set, which brings it to 48. So if you can add the 25% crit rate from the card, that's pretty sweet. Without that, it's going to take some better memory fragments, because since she relies on a single big bonk, having the ability to make sure that the big bonk is going to actually crit is going to make a whole lot of difference. That will be all, guys. Take care and good luck on your save files.